Right.
Well, thanks for everybody for coming, as always. I know we always have dedicated fans. That's why we're not shy about starting a minute or two early, because we knew you would all be here anxious to talk to your hockey personnel. So you probably know me already. I'm Patrick McNeil. I'm the radio announcer for the team. Oh, I see some other people coming in, so it's nice to see that. Just, it's always great to catch up with the fans, so it's nice to see everybody here. We're going to get a chance to hear from everybody tonight, and you probably know all these faces as well, but if you have not, I'll start to my left, then going on. Joey Haddad is here with us. I never go Haddad or Haddad, I go with both interchangeably. Sylvain Couturier, our general manager there, just is fresh off a trip seeing his son play last week. Our assistant general manager, John Anna, is here as well. And our head coach, Jason Clark, at the end of the table. So it's going to be a great set to hear from these guys. I think you probably want to hear from them a lot more than you want to hear from me. So with no further ado, Joe, you can lead us off. And actually, before that, sorry, getting ahead of myself here. Following these gentlemen speaking, we're going to take some questions. Wendy is here somewhere. She'll have a microphone. So if you want to ask a question, you can just raise your hand and she'll get to you. We also have questions that were submitted online, so these gentlemen will be answering those as well. But again, we're going to hear from them first, and then after they're done, you can ask questions. And also, this is being recorded for Facebook, so if you want to watch it tomorrow, then you can go back and revisit any answers that you thought were interesting. Yeah, so without any further ado, our president, Joey Haddad.
Thanks, Pat. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you all for being with us this evening. We wanted to get the group together and kind of do that. You know, we're 20 games into this season, so it's a good time to get an update out there. And with such a busy schedule, it's not always easy to get this group together. You know, Coach Clark just got back from a 12-day road trip where he went to Newfoundland and then all the way to Montreal, played 5 games, came back with 7 points, so it was a great road trip, but just an example of how tough it is, you know, to get the business and the hockey operations together. So we kind of slot a few different timetables and see what kind of works out, but don't want to have this too soon, and you know, we don't have enough to talk about and then do it too late and kind of miss things. So that third of the season is a good touch point. I want to thank the hockey operations not only for making today possible, but also for taking the time to put together a thoughtful and informative presentation that we will see. And it'll help us all understand what goes into building a championship team. And here in Cape Breton, we don't just want a winning team, we want to build a championship team. And when we look at the major junior level, I know there's a lot of long-term fans, long-time fans here. We get the idea that there's a couple ways to build that championship team, and whether that's, you know, a year-to-year basis where you're trying to secure the best assets out there and build a team that's going to be competitive, above 500, make the playoffs, or build, you know, from the ground up for a championship team, which focuses on drafting, securing league currency, which is draft picks and prospects, and then developing that talent in-house, and then being aggressive during trade periods. So when we looked at our past strategy, we felt we were a little more aligned over the years. And when I say over the years, I mean, you know, 30 years of Eagles hockey with the year-to-year strategy. And our main focus was that competitive team. We didn't ever want to let our fans down with a losing season where we didn't put everything behind it. And then you end up, you know, 30 years later, we had 3 berths in the 3rd round, but we never made that final. So. You know, after hearing from these guys to my left, I think we'll all have a better idea of what we're trying to achieve here. Sylvain, John, Jason, you know, we've shifted that model to building for a championship. Our hockey operations, you know, working tirelessly around the clock. We're always looking for prospects. We're always trying to find ways to get the edge on our opponents, and it's not only our goal to build a winning team, but it is our goal to secure that future stability, so we remain a contender for years to come. And our ownership group, led by Erwin and Trevor Simon, you know, they've invested greatly in this organization, and their goal is to bring a championship to Cape Breton. We want to, you know, be that organization that not only Cape Bretoners are proud of, but we want to set the tone for the Quebec League and CHL overall. And as you know, I'll steal a line from Jason, we want to make Cape Breton a destination, not just somewhere you go to play hockey, but somewhere you want to go. Some other news, I'm excited to announce that the CBRM has allocated a substantial investment for the modernization plan of Center 200. I've been working closely with the CBRM senior management on this project, and I look forward to continuing to work closely to make sure the municipality and the Eagles are aligned and this project stays on track. As this timeline progresses, we can expect some more information to be made public. At the moment, it's kind of behind the scenes, getting built, getting worked on, and proposals are being made. But as soon as we know more information, we are going to be really happy and excited to share that with you guys. I would just like to say that at this time, we are really excited for what's to come for this building and what it means for this organization. And again, we have an ownership group that is fully committed to bringing every major event to this island, including the Q Draft and a Memorial Cup. A couple other things before we get into the hockey stuff, but I just want to announce that we're really happy to be hosting our first ever minor hockey tournament this weekend. It's been a little bit of a gap in play. In November, I think we were all getting a little edgy, waiting for the team to come back. But we have back-to-back games this week versus Sherbrooke, and we'll have 15 Nova Scotia U13 AAA teams in town. Games will be played at Center 200, County Arena, Glace Bay Arena. Center 200 would be the hub. Big event. We got 15 teams. We got 260 players and their families coming to town. So it's a great thing for Cape Breton, and the Eagles are happy and proud to be putting this on for this age group. Want to congratulate a few members of our team and our staff. Number 65, Aiden McCullough, has been awarded the Dr. Sylvain Samard Silver Award and received a $1,500 scholarship for his academic achievements. So that's great for Aiden and the organization. And a big congratulations to our goaltending prospect, Sam Berthume, and our athletic therapist, Colton Riley, who brought home a silver medal at the World Under-17 Challenge that was held in Truro this past week. So that's huge, that's awesome. Congratulations to those guys. And I'll now hand things over to our general manager, Sylvain, and he can get going on the hockey stuff.
Well, thank you, Joy. Thanks everyone for being here tonight. Yeah, just to follow up on Joey here, what he just said, just to get you back to 6 months ago, if we want, after the last game of last season, we sat down with the whole group, the organization, and we heard that the city was going to invest a certain amount in the building and renovate the building. Right away, Erwin and Trevor and the whole staff, we have decided from there that we will be betting on the Emerald Cup in 3 years. Now, are we going to get it? We don't know. Is the facility will be ready for that? We don't know that. That being said, you don't bet on the Emerald Cup tournament like that without having a good hockey team on the ice. So we kind of adjust where what we want to do, and some decision right away from the draft to the training camp, decision making were kind of a different approach on what we want to do. That's one of the reasons right now, as you probably noticed, we have 17 years old forward. We draft a lot of defensemen right away from the draft, early on in the draft. So everything that we've been doing since last year is to build a championship team and a Emerald Cup team. And like I said, it's something that have to be prepared. We have to be ready. Doesn't matter if we're going to apply or not. At the end of the day, we all know that the committee who select the Emerald Cup, they're going to look at the lineup of the team that apply for it, and if you're not competitive enough, you're not going to be in the race. So I think it's important for us to have a competitive team in a couple of years to make sure that if we apply, and hopefully we will apply, that we will be represented real well, our league and our city. So like I said, we knew some decision we made that we're gonna have a issue maybe, and that one thing we talked about for the last 6 months as well. Scoring will be an issue. We're a lot more mature on defense, as you know, and in net we got a 20 years old goalie and a 19 years old goalie right now. A lot more experience in the backhand. What that brings to 17 years old, and it's bringing lack of offense because they're not bigger and not stronger, and they will be there. We know what we got, and we've got a lot of confidence in these young players, and but it's just part of the process. It's what it takes to bring that team to the next level, and we're willing to do it. If you look at our lineup this year compared to last year, we're talking about 500 games experience less than last year, which is huge. It's a big number. 500 games. It's something that you don't just go get, and obviously it's something that we make a decision on it, and we're going to live with it. And we're confident, and we're very confident that we know where we're going, and hopefully we'll get where we want to go. You look at those 17 years old up front. You look at our record after 20 games compared to last year. We're exactly where we were last year. Last year we're 9-9-2 for 20 points. This year we're 7-8-5 for 19 points. So different way to get there, but at the end we're where we were last year, and hopefully we're going to do what we have to do to get better, obviously, but to still focus on the objective to build a hockey team to be ready in 2 years for the World Cup. So that's our main goal. We can talk about the asset that we're gonna have, for the near future, the draft pick and everything. John will address that in a second here, but like I said, and Joey mentioned that as well. We got a lot of assets. We got a lot of good young players, obviously. We're going to be really, really aggressive in the next, especially at the next draft, to continue to build what we want to do with the asset we're going to have, and with the players that we got in our pipeline, if you want. So that will be our goal, to focus on build that team and be ready for in a couple of years. Hopefully, you've been really patient. I understand that, and we hope that you're going to continue to be patient, because I think every team that go through that process go through some. You look at the history of Rimouski last year, and Shawinigan a few years back, and Moncton. They all go through the same process, and I think it's important. We have to do it, and we will do it, and we will do it the right way. So from there, I will let John talk to you about our prospect, our draft picks, and what we got coming up.
Okay, thanks, Sly. And I think most of us understand that when we're building a team, there's some different ways to build a team. Obviously, we have our draft that we draft players every year. There are prospects, trades, obviously, the different trade windows during the year. And then, of course, free agents, which has become a much more complicated issue, especially for those of you that understand the NCAA rules last year, where players in the United States and/or Ontario can now play in the CHL and then still go on to NCAA. So that's opened up things, not only in the United States, but what people don't realize also, because of the depth in Ontario, it's given an opportunity for some Ontario players. So with that, we've looked at all aspects of our organization. And currently what we have in terms of, first of all, our draft picks, we're in good shape with first round pick, second round pick, fourth, fifth, sixth, and same for the next year. So we have not, with our young core, we have not emptied our cabinets in terms of what we have for draft picks. Now, two things Sly has on the table. He can draft high-end players, or he can use those picks to trade, whichever's in the best interest of this team to be competitive, or I shouldn't say competitive, but to be to move the needle and next year and the year after. So we're very fortunate to have a lot of draft picks there. And if you notice that, over the last years, we're probably not going to use those picks to get players that are going to help us in the short term. Any players that we get for the most part of significance will be for the next 2 years. So we have that opportunity. With some of our prospects that are in our system right now, we're very comfortable and actually quite excited about. First of all, if we start in goal, we've got two goaltenders. One we drafted, Jake Poirier, that's playing with the Weeks Junior A, having a great year. Luca Connolly, who we received in a trade a few years ago, is also playing in Junior A in Truro. He's playing with Sam Berthume, and as we all know, Sam is one of the top goaltending prospects in Canada right now. He's only 16 years old, we realize that. He's going to get some valuable experience in Truro playing Junior A there. And of course, he just won a silver medal. And he went into that tournament as probably the second-ranked goaltender on his team, and he took the ball and won the starting job and played right through. So we're excited about that. We've got Marc-Olivier Pilat, who we signed as a free agent after the draft last year, who came into camp last year and actually surprised a lot of people. So the sky's the limit for him. We also signed a free agent this winter, early this fall, a goaltender from Pennsylvania. His name is Michael Ilov. And Michael is playing with Shattuck St. Mary's, is one of the best highly regarded prep schools in North America, or in the world for that matter. That's where Sidney Crosby went. His numbers are off the charts. He doesn't have a goals against average over the last 5 years over 2.05. And his save percentage has been consistently 750, 760 over those 5 years. And when speaking to the U.S. development coach, the goaltending coach about him, he said he's proven everybody wrong because he's a little bit undersized. Some teams have shied away from him. We're betting that this guy is going to prove everyone wrong again, even with his size, is going to be able to do the job. So with our goaltending, and we've got Connor Toll still as a 19-year-old, we're in good shape there. On defense, again, Sly mentioned a lot of our draft picks this year. We're heavy on D. We know we have a good core of young forwards. And when we drafted, we looked at, obviously, when you're early in the draft, getting the best player available, but we did lean a little bit towards defensemen. So, but I think the best of both worlds happened for us last year at the draft. Julien Nadeau and William Dubé, our first two defensemen that were picked, are both having outstanding seasons in the Quebec Midget AAA League. Both player of the months at one point, numerous player of the games. Speaking to scouts in the Monctonian last week that have watched them play, they're said we've got two studs there. We'll see them play again. William Dubé came with us and practiced with a week, played some played some regular season games with us and did very well. So those two guys, the sky is the limit. And then we received, in our next pick, Noah Levy, who kind of came out of nowhere last year, played at a lower level, is now playing Midget AAA in Quebec, who's got a big frame, skates really well. By the time he's 19, he could be the best defenseman in the league. He has that kind of upside. Easton Anello is a U.S. kid that we drafted last year. Watched him play earlier in Boston. He's a big, physical, puck-moving guy who has the ability to move bodies, has a high intelligence. He's actually committed to the University of Massachusetts. So for those of you, when you see that, don't be afraid that we're going to lose him to the University of Massachusetts, because what's generally happening now is players that are committing to universities and NCAA, those NCAA teams are very happy that the players are coming this way because they're going to get a higher development, they're going to play in higher competition, and that's going to allow them to be at the top of their game when they finish their junior level. So they're getting them a little bit older, and then they're getting them a little more developed in their process. So we're really excited to have him. Most of us probably know the name Jack Skinnish. Well, Jack Skinnish from Memberton here is playing for the Halifax Max in Halifax. And he is an elite skater, an absolute intelligent player that is dynamic at both ends of the ice. Jack's played a few games with us already this year. He also has practiced with us. And Jax has stretched a little bit. When he gets some strength in him, he could be one of the most exciting players in this league. So he's playing with the Halifax Max along with Riley Creelman, another one of our prospects who just won the Monctonian. And again, he hasn't missed a beat there. We have another U.S. player, Chris Soja, who came into camp last year, did very well as a year older, but also someone that we can keep an eye on. Another free agent that we did sign earlier in the fall was a guy named Tyler Rokas, plays for the Yale Junior Bulldogs. And he's committed to Quinnipiac, which is one of the top NCAA teams in Division I in the United States. And he's a big 6'3" defenseman that can skate. He needed a little bit of time to develop because he missed a lot of time last year with injuries. And he's grown so much, but we think over time he could develop into a real stud as well. So on defense, as you can see, we have a lot of encouragement there. Obviously, all these guys, there's not going to be room for everybody, and they all don't pan out. We know that. They're prospects for a reason, but we're very confident that we're going to get the next core of young D from this group to add to what we already have. And then, of course, our forwards. Our first-round pick last year, Olivier Chiron, is an Eagle. He plays hard. He's a player who just plays the right way. He's second in scoring in the Quebec AAA League right now, and he kills penalties. He's physical. He's the type of player you like to watch every night. So he's going to do good things in this league. It's just a matter of time for him. Drew Murphy from Kensington, the next forward we picked last year in the draft, is a big physical guy. Will's younger brother, strong. Needs to work on his skating a little bit, very similar to Will, but we think with some work and some time, he could be a force and the type of player that we need to complement what we have. Another local kid, Charlie McLeod, is playing in Kimbrell Union in the States. He's gone to prep school. I watched him play earlier in Boston as well. He's a honest player, up and down guy, finishes his checks, competes. He just needs to get a little stronger, improve his skating, and he's done that already. So we hope, and he's going to actually he'll be home for the holiday, the U.S. Thanksgiving, so he's going to actually skate with us a little bit, which is good for him. Then we've got guys like Evan Lever in Halifax and Arnaud Duchesne, who's having a great year in Quebec, playing the right way. Caden Pellegrino is another U.S. guy that's committed to Providence College that we picked last year, a little bit later in the draft. And Caden's numbers this year are off the charts. I think in 20 games he's got 31 goals, 32 assists, and he's an offensive force. He got his feet wet here in camp last year. I think he knows what it takes, so there's high hopes that he can do the job for us. And then Owen Burke, which is Blake's younger brother, a guy we picked later on, real good skater. Ben Lefebvre, same thing, playing in the Quebec League. We'll keep an eye on him. And then I put the last guy as a free agent, Tristan Richard, who came here last year as a free agent from Moncton, Moncton Flyers organization. And he surprised everyone with his will, his passion, his compete. And he gave himself a chance to make this team. He was injured most of this year, but's now back playing Junior A. So someone like him, whether it's an affiliate player or someone we can use down the road, is certainly could be available to us. So, Sly, you've got lots to work with between our draft picks, our free agents. We're really excited because our 16 and 17-year-old core is filled with top-end forwards and defensemen and goaltenders. And I know we've never had that combination in depth in our organization as long as I've been here, which has been quite a number of years. So again, they're prospects. We know when by the time they hit 18, some of them will do very well, not all of them will. So it will be our decision to make sure that we pick the right guys and hopefully bring a championship within the next couple of years.
That's my turn. Just before I get started, when Sly approached me about the opportunity to coach here, I knew how great of a city Cape Breton was because Sly had hired me in Bathurst. And one of my favorite places to come was to Cape Breton. So the city has not disappointed. myself, my wife, my family, nor I've just really enjoyed the city, enjoyed the people, and I'm really enjoying myself working with this young group. We'd definitely like to have a few more wins like everybody, but I think with where we're at as a young group, I'm specifically very proud of our last road trip, 12 days, 5 games in 12 days, and we showed a lot of promise, a lot of will. I've really tightened up our defensive game. In the last 5 games, we've only allowed 4 5-on-5 goals, and we continue just to kind of grow together as a group. We know we're struggling to score goals, so that's my job to be able to come up with some different game plans in order for us to continue to grow as a group on the offensive side. And we're going to make some adjustments coming up this weekend, hopefully, and maybe generate some more offense. But I think one thing I'd like our hometown fans to know is that something that we've addressed with the group this week is we've been very competitive and have had a really good edge on the road, but just to let the group is a very young group and very innocent group and doesn't understand the factors that come into place for playing at home. And these kids wouldn't be playing where they're playing and have the opportunity to get treated well without the support of our fans. I mean, you're the ones that come to the game all the time. You spend your hard-earned money in order for this franchise to be here, and it's something that I've relayed the message to our group. I mean, we were really good on the road, but it's time for us to start playing with a little bit more urgency and a little bit more pride at home. And we've been a little bit inconsistent in that, and I think that's something that I'm not happy with, because I think our fan base deserves to see us play as well as we do on the road at home. And I think it's important for our young group to understand that. So I'm hoping they respond to what we spoke about today and how important our fan base is to us, and we'll see what happens. I mean, they're teenagers, right? So they look like men when they're on the ice and they play like men, but at the end of the day, they're just young boys, wet behind the ears, and hopefully in 2 years they'll be changed into men and play like men and make real good decisions and bring a championship to Cape Breton, because it's well deserved here. So.
Very good, John. As I mentioned, we did receive some questions online, but obviously you all made the effort to come out here, so I'd love to hear from you if you were here. Wendy is, I'm sorry, I have a blind spot here, but Wendy is here somewhere with the microphone, so I guess she can direct traffic with questions. Just raise your hand, do it the old-fashioned way if anybody wants to ask anything. I know we've got some people here that usually ask some pretty good questions, so you can feel free to do so tonight.
The names of the prospects changed up on your slide there, but the song you're singing, we've heard it before. I know I've heard it before. You know what I mean? We're building for this, we're building for that. We roll the clock back a bit slide, you sat exactly kind of where you're sitting now, telling us the year of Cam Squires when it was 19, that we were projected to be at the top of the league or near the top of the league. Didn't work out for whatever reason, maybe you can explain it. We're sitting with the number 1 defenseman in the league right now. He was drafted number 1 overall. He's 19. And typically in the past, like Joey said, like 3 times in 30 years we made it to the semis, haven't made it to the finals. But we had the number 1 pick in the draft, 19-year-old defenseman. And from what I'm seeing coming to every game, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't see a team that's going to compete for a championship this year. So did I kind of see a message there about now it's geared towards the Memorial Cup run with the renovations to the building and all that, or did I mishear that? Or?
No, I think, like you said, I think we said that we got 17 years old forward right now, and are we going to just sit to wait for the World Cup? No, we're not. We realize after 20 games, I think there's a lack of offense. So right now we're working to try to get maybe another players here with experience of of the Q or the OHL or free agent that's been there that can come and help our young guy. But like I said, we have to, if you want to apply on the Merle Cup team or Merle Cup tournament, you need a team that's going to be you know, as good as anybody else. And the committee that's going to select the city going to look at your team. So definitely that we're looking down the road to get that team ready for 2 years if we're going to apply for it. And yeah, I don't know if you know, I know you hear, I hear you when you said you hear that year after year. I think every year each team is trying to win. Last year, you know, not that I want to go back to last year, but just you know, we went on Christmas and trade for John Groen, and we had a Cornway who was became the #1 goalie, and a guy like Brown, and we had a lot of asset last year to try to make a run. Unfortunately, like 17 other teams, we didn't win. There's only one winner at the end of the year, but it's not like in 2 years ago we went to the top 4 or the final 4. So like I said, it's unfortunately, I understand what you're saying, but our goal is still the same.
We had a better year the year it wasn't, or it was the year before our goal for a year, and we had a real good year. And then when we ended up with the goal for a year, it didn't come together, and it was tough as a fan to.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Like I said, last year we started the year with, you know, I don't want to forget anybody, but we had Burbage, Squire, Newcomb, Annieberry, we had Romeo, 19 years old, Patterson, Fullerton. We had a mature team. You know, I'll be really honest with you. We fell last year, and there's no question about it. That being said, no, we like I said, we at Christmas last year we were a buyer. We did buy. We paid for a guy like John Rowe, like I said. You know, we had, like I said, we brought in a free agent like Brown, who was a top 3 defenseman for us, and Cornway, that we didn't know that he was going to turn out to be a #1 goalie or 1A or 1B with Milota. But as I said, you're right. We fell last year. It's and like I said, we were like 5 or 6 teams buying last year. I think Bacomo was one of them, and the team that beat us, Chicoutimi, and there's a few teams that have been said, but there's only one at the end that stood up and won the trophy.
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
So I guess now we're saying that the goal is to compete for more of the cup 2 years from now. And we knew 6 months ago that that was the plan. I'm wondering why we traded our best asset in Milota for expiring older players instead of looking forward to that future.
Well, I think the Milota trade. First of all, we were asked by Milota to, if it's possible, to get a trade done, because he's, you know, we explained to him where we were as an organization, and he was playing for a contract, obviously. But the goal behind that, and like I just said, we knew we were going to be young, and we knew we were going to need to surround those players. So for us, or for me, when I look at the trade, we replaced Mola by a 20 years old goalie who was basically the same or better number than Jacob, but he was an overage goalie. But we could afford to get him. And then a guy like Kubak, a 19 years old defenseman, and Ilya Italien, who was a former first-round pick, 7th overall, I believe. We're going to go young, but at the same time, we want to make sure those young guys are put in a situation or position to perform. And, you know, as you could say, if they're not all 17 years old on their team respond differently. They're going to take more time with some of others. But we think, and that's why I just mentioned, we're going to be looking right now to add more experience maybe to the group, just to help those young guys. Not because we don't have confidence in these guys, or not because we need to help these young guys right now. After 20 games, when we look back, and we said, okay, why we're not scoring is just, again, it's, we're talking about, we have 3 MVP in our league from Midget League, but it's a big adjustment coming from Midget to play Major Junior. And these young guys need to be surrounded by good veterans, and that's what we got. That's the reason behind that trade.
Thank you. I see the vision that your group is putting forward for the ownership and that sort of thing for the community at large. We were driving home after a recent home game, and I guess this would be Jay, the coach at the end there. And one of the comments during that whole closing point he was making with Pat was he was really hard on the team. A lot of the comments were very negative, in my opinion, towards these very young players. And I know they have to respond to both positive and negative, either on the ice or what they have to do to bring the game to make the coaching staff happy and to work for the betterment of the team. But I just found the comments in that particular game, driving home, were extremely negative, and I'm just wondering where positive reinforcement comes in from a psychological perspective for these players that you're trying to develop into a winning formula and culture for this organization, and will that be the drive going forward?
Well, I think that's a very good question, for sure, because I think I've expressed more than one time that I think it's really important that our young players have to have the same reputation of what this town has. And this town is known as a blue-collar working community, and people spend their hard-earned money to come here every single night. They do come in loyal fans, and I thought that against St. John's that night, I thought their performance was unacceptable. So if you took my comments as a negative, I don't think my comments were negative. I think it was just a reality, is that if you're going to be able to win hockey games, you have to have an effort and you have to have pride. And I don't think they had either of that. And I don't think me expressing my opinion of our poor performance in front of our home fans is taken as a negative comment. It's more of a reality. And the next night, if you remember from speaking about positive reinforcement, I think it was 3-0 after the first period against St. John after the next night. So if my comments offended you, I apologize. But I'm just going to speak from the heart. I come from a blue-collar working family. Both my mom and dad had to work their butts off in order for me to be able to play and where I'm standing right now as a person. And there's 2 things in life I think that are most important, is that your work ethic and your attitude. And I found that our work ethic and attitude was unacceptable, specifically in that home game. And if it happens again, I'll express my opinion exactly the same way, because we're a young group, but I think we also have to respect the fact that our fan base deserves a lot better effort. And I think our fan base I know our fan base is a really smart hockey fan base. They've had the Cape Breton Oilers here. They've had some championship potential teams here in the last 3 or 4 years. And I think they understand what a good effort is and what a bad effort is. And I just don't think that our fan base deserved an effort like that the other night. And if I did offend you, then I apologize, but I'm always going to speak the truth all the time. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm more of a black and white type guy, and I'm not going to change that, because I wouldn't be standing where I am right now if I wasn't like that.
It didn't offend me, Mr. Clark, if I make a point of that. It wasn't a defensive thing. I just think positivity overcomes negativity. And during that short period of time with Pat, I just found it disappointing more than anything.
No, for sure. And you know what? I think this is great that everyone's entitled to their own opinions, and I respect your opinion. I mean, if I was negative all the time, then we wouldn't have the same record as we had with 7 or 8 19-year-olds in the lineup with a really experienced club last year. We're at the same points, playing the same way with a younger group. So what you see in front of the cameras is not exactly what you see, behind the scenes. So that's just one thing to, just to remember as well too. Like when you're hearing comments and, doing things, I actually use those negative comments, if you want to call them a negative comment, more to kind of motivate the guys, to be honest with you. And it worked for 20 minutes. It would have been nice to work for 60 minutes, to be honest with you. But that happens with a young group. I mean, I think you can see how inconsistent we can be from period to period and from game to game. If you saw the way our team played on the road, in Newfoundland against one of the top offensive teams in our division. I think he would have been real proud of them. We only allowed one 5-on-5 goal in 2 games against the most top offensive team in our division. And then we go to Gatineau and play the number 1 team on the power play. They had a 35% power play, and we won 12 for 13 on the PK. And our power play wasn't very good and hasn't been very good all year. And our power play wins us a game in Gatineau, and we don't allow a 5-on-5 goal. So it's just, all it is you know, it's I think it's in everyone's best interest, and even mine, to be patient with the young guys and enjoy the highs and understand when the lows come, that maybe sometimes you need to be positive, but maybe sometimes you need a kick in the pants. So, and I think that's what's most important. But I do respect your opinion, and I didn't mean to say that if I offended you, but it's a good question. So.
And if I can jump on that, and Jason may want to say this, but I'm around every day in the coach's room, in the dressing room, training room, watching practice when I'm not on the road. I can assure you that that frustrating night, that disappointing night, was very rare. When Jason speaks to all the players on a regular basis, he is feeding them with positivity, probably 5 or 6 to 1 in terms of corrective feedback. So he's got the right tone, and I'm going to agree. I think sometimes if we're too soft for too long, which is a society we live in, kids will take advantage. They're going to go their way. So, you know, it's a little tough love sometimes. It's just one of the many strategies that someone like Jason uses to get the team or the individual where they need to be. So, for sure, it's if you were listening that night and that's all you've heard, yeah, that would be disappointing. I agree, but I can assure you all that that's certainly not the case with Jason.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm a woman, so I cry when I talk, so accept it. This is for Jason. I hope I got my plug in before that one and before you guys kind of beat yourself up a little bit. Cape Breton's a little different, as you're probably finding out. Everyone here completely supports you. We are behind you, and we will continue to be. You could put a Timbit in the net, and we'll respect your decision to do that, because that's what we're like. So thank you for coming here, sharing your time with us. Your family's not always with you. We appreciate it. I heard Thanksgiving dinner was at your house coming up soon, so we're all happy about that. But thank you for being here.
Right. Thank you, Rob. I really appreciate it. I was away from home. My wife and I have always had this relationship where we've always supported each other, and my wife and I owned and operated probably the best junior A franchise in the country in Carleton Place, and you know, she put a lot of time and effort into it, but she's always known that I've wanted to coach at the highest level. And when all our kids, in the middle of our run, we won four championships in a row, 4 Eastern Canadian championships in a row, went to 4 national championships in a row. And during that time, I had an opportunity to leave to coach major junior, but that wasn't in the plan. Like I didn't want to be a part-time dad and be away from my family. And so we always had, she always supported me all the way through it. And then when our kids were old enough, we had kids when we were very young. So my youngest is 22 now. So you know, he was out of the house 3 years ago, full-time job, doing his own thing, and he's a very mature young man, very proud of him. And I mean, it was my opportunity to be able to move to the next level, and my wife supported it, and she's got horses and dogs and grandkids, and so she stays at home and flies. When I was in San Diego, would fly in once a month and spend 7 to 10 days with me, and then fly back and spend time with her, things that she likes to enjoy to do, because she supported my career all the way through, and I always thought it was important that I supported my wife. So it works for us. She's not always around, but we talk obviously on a regular basis, and it was very special for her over the weekend to be able to host the team at our house, right? So we had all the players over. Instead of which was very nice of the organization and Sly. So instead of flying back to Halifax and then leaving on Tuesday, we flew right from Newfoundland to Montreal, and we were able to spend 2 days or three days, 2.5 days on my hometown. So I was able to share kind of where I grew up and how I got my coaching career started, introduced them to my family and my grandkids and you know, and my family, and it was a really good week. We really enjoyed ourselves and got to know each other even more together as a group. And I think you can see the results. The results speak for themselves when you go on the road and spend that much time. I don't know if you guys watched the game against Rimouski, but you know, we're down 2-1, we tied 2-2, and you think it's over, and the kids just have that extra little step. And I think when you're surrounded with young guys that are like that, it keeps even the coaches motivated. I was just absolutely shocked of how hard we played against Rimouski on 12 days and miles and thousands of miles of travel. And for us to get a point out of that game, I was absolutely ecstatic and very proud of the boys. So, I mean, I've really enjoyed myself. I was in the American League for 2 years, and it was a really good experience. But coming to Cape Breton, being able to work with the people that I'm working with right now is really, and the team I'm with right now, has brought a lot of love back into the game for me. So I'm really enjoying the city, enjoying the people that I'm working with, and really enjoying the kids, to be honest with you. If you're able to spend any time with any of these guys away from the rink or at the rink, if you're a fan, I would encourage it, because they're a really good group of young men, and I really enjoy coming to the rink every day and them being a part of my life, and them hopefully me being a part of theirs. So I've really enjoyed my time in Cape Breton so far, and I can't wait to see what happens here in the next 3 years, and hopefully longer.
So 2 things here. Jason, first thing I want to say, everything you were saying about the honesty, I 100% agree. I basically been to every home game all year, and when the team's not playing right, it's right on the coach to call them out. Because how are they supposed to learn as a team that if they're not playing well, you're not just going to sugarcoat it and tell them, good job, play the next one. No. You have to tell them, this is what's wrong, it's not the right way. You just got to give them that extra bit, and I appreciate that you do that. And if people get upset over it, it's tough. It's the game of hockey. If you don't play right, your coach is going to ream you, and you have to accept it.
Well, I think one thing people, specifically when you talk about sports, I think one thing people don't understand is that, you know, not only is it my job to teach them hockey, but I think it's hockey is a game that we love, but they're using the game of hockey in order to gain, you know, life skills that's going to help them be better fathers, or, you know, like husbands, like grandfathers, and jobs, and, you know, just every regular day life. So, I mean, sometimes life is hard, and you know, if we're not developing people along with players, then I just don't think we're doing our jobs. And sometimes tough love is all about life, and I think it's important that the players understand that this is the best time of their lives and they need to enjoy it. But they also have to be able to take all the life skills that they're learning here and being able to apply it to their life when they leave here. So, you know, we're trying to change young boys and change them into men, and I think that's, you know, my job, not only as a hockey coach, but, you know, as literally as a father as well too. Like I've had kids, and you just want what's best for all the players, and that's kind of what my philosophy is, and always has been, and always will be.
100%. And I have a second part here. This one's for Sly. Earlier you were talking about how you're looking at potentially getting another veteran presence. I'm wondering, is it going to be from within the league, or is it going to be from within one of the other junior leagues? And is it this season or next year?
I'm not sure if I heard correctly. Can you repeat it, please?
You mentioned earlier about looking at veteran presence, bringing in another veteran.
Yeah.
Are you looking at doing it for this league, like bringing it in from this league to this team? Or you're looking at outsourcing from the Ontario League, Western League, or the United States? And it's going to be this year or next year?
No, it's definitely for this year. Like I said, we look back at the first 20 games. Obviously, we all know where we are and where we stand as a team. Offense is an issue right now, and to say that we didn't predict that, we'll be lying. We know starting with 17 years old will be a challenge. It is a challenge. I remember I think it was first 10 games, first 10 or 12 games, we had a full line of 17 years old, Klaus, Sochi, and Artland playing together. That's tough. That's really tough on them. So yeah, we're going to be looking at a guy to bring that will bring some experience of the league. Obviously, right now, if we go as up today, and we're looking right now at other league because trades and our leagues are only started in December 18, I believe. There's not a lot of movement in this league. But there's a lot of players available in the OHL, WHL, so we're looking to probably bring a guy from the OHL right now. We got one that we got target for a few days now, and yeah, so we're working on one guy. Maybe in the next couple of days we'll obviously we'll get him or not, but we got definitely one guy's target for right now to come and help us out. Obviously, we're talking about a 19 years old forward.
You don't see any hands up, do you, Wendy? Like, talk about Memorial Cup, signing free agents. Everybody that came here is getting all the breaking news. This is really good.
I think there's a question there, sorry.
Question here. Yeah, question, I guess, for Joey, I guess. 13 times this year, we're going to be playing the same team back to back. Get any feedback on that? Because I know the season taking hold over 26 years. It's got a different feel. You've seen it before, but not to this extent. It's got a different feel walking in to the rink, seeing the same team that you watched 24 hours earlier. And when you're not necessarily seeing, like the coach said, a great performance, coming one of those 2 nights, it gets a little tough. Is there much feedback on this back-to-backs?
We were definitely concerned about it. I mean, it's not like we chose this schedule. A lot of the change this year from previous years has been the change in Bathurst moving to St. John, and the league trying to figure out how all the teams are going to operate and get to St. John. So, for example, all the maritime teams have to travel to Halifax. They fly to Halifax to St. John, and all the Quebec teams drive to Montreal and fly Montreal to St. John. We didn't love it when we saw it. I mean, we knew it was going to be different, obviously. Something like that might have came around, but not to the extent that you acknowledged, 13 games back to back, 13 teams back to back for 26 games. So I guess if you're trying to look at it in a positive light, you always have the second game to get some redemption on the other team, but it's just one of those things the league is trying to work through as they adjust to a team going back to St. John, and how all the other teams are going to be able to accommodate that travel. Another thing that happened this year is teams that are on the outskirts like ourselves and Val-d'Or, Rouen are coming here. Rouen came here already, but we won't go there this year. And then next year we'll flip-flop. So as the league tries to implement these measures, one, moving a team to St. John, and then two, trying to alleviate some of the travel burdens, on a budget like ours, we travel the most in the country. This is kind of what it looks like as they work it out. So definitely from, my perspective and Sylvain's perspective, we'll be letting the league know that, we don't like this schedule, we don't like this setup, and we need to make changes moving forward. And then the league will then take what we have to say and all the other 17 teams and try to work out some sort of method that allows the best for both worlds. So that's kind of what this year is about. And, again, it's not ideal, but we're going to try to make the most of it and make the adjustments for next season.
Excuse me. My question is, you folks are doing the job up there trying to get all the players in here and get a good team going and go for the Memorial Cup. But there's another half of that team that you need, and that's the ones in the stands. And apparently, I don't see anything at all being out there to try to entice people to come back and sit in the seats and cheer on our team. So I don't know what's going on, who's not doing their job, or what organization not doing their job to get that back. I mean, there's a list there before COVID, a lot of people that had tickets here, and nobody has approached them and say, what can we do to get you back in the seats? Okay, I look up at all your sponsors up top, and most of the time the boxes are empty. What do they do with the tickets? Just put them in the pocket. Why not give them to somebody to come out and yell?
Yeah, no, I hear you there. Sponsors who rent suites, you know, we're happy that they support us, and they do rent that suite for the season. So those dollars are very important for the club. And I am always trying to, you know, let them know that if they know they're not going to come to a game, to, you know, tip us off, and we always have people kind of ready and waiting to take a suite for the night kind of thing. But I think game to game, you know, we have 17 suites, so approximately 20 some companies rent those suites, and it's not always the suite owner who uses the suite. A lot of the times it's for their employees or for their clients, and sometimes it just works out that, you know, they were too busy and they didn't get their tickets handed out, or, you know, plans changed and things like that. So the suite level, you know, obviously I'd love it, you know, busy every night and having that support in the building. And then as far as ticket sales and attendance, for the past 2 years we've shown, you know, dramatic growth coming out of the year.
Less than 1,200 people here last game.
Well, our season attendance right now is 2,460 or so odd people per game. Right, we're at about a 56% capacity on average.
It's the season ticket holders and your box people that are basically supporting their own supporters. The only
Yeah.
time we got a crowd here is there's CBU night, or there's this night or that night. Other than that, there doesn't be any promotion at all to get anybody back in the seats.
So we've had promotions in the past, and as attendance grows, you know, you adjust those promotions. We do have our big theme nights every season. I think we have, you know, 5 different jerseys slated for this year. 2 Hospital Foundation nights, a United Way night, a CBU night, and then a jersey contest night with Real Canadian Superstore. But we're always looking for different ways to spark interest from the community. Traditionally, our lowest attended games come in the first half of the season, as Cape Bretoners, you know, get out of the country and get back into the city and get the kids back to school and go through the fall transition. But I mean, it's not like we're not trying or we're not strategizing. If you look at the last 3 years, our ticket sales have been on the incline, so we have been doing something right. We've been expanding the business office, and these things take time to, you know, in place and start to get, you know, a lot of small drops make a glass of water. So we're continuing to put drops in the glass and you know, fill it up. But I appreciate the concern. I agree with you. We need the support from the community for sure. Jason touched on that earlier. You know, if it's not for our fans and our sponsors, whether it's a season ticket or a walk-up ticket, they're all just as valuable. So we're definitely going to continue to work hard and get fans in the building to support the club.
The nice thing is those dues, the tickets, whatever the price of the ticket, are they the same as the season ticket holders are paying, or are they less?
A walk-up ticket is more expensive. Our season ticket holders get the best deal on tickets.
another hockey ops question, I guess, so, John or Sly. Sly, I acknowledge that sort of last year, and I guess the year before, to a certain degree, we didn't get to where we wanted to get. It was, you know, a failure to some degree. We didn't get that finals appearance or championship. Are there any lessons or, you know, things we can take away from that, those 2 years, those 3 years, to apply to this next, you know, cycle going forward that we might be able to change?
Yes, to be honest, after each year you do a debriefing of the season and you're trying to learn from what happened and why it didn't happen. Obviously, and like I said last year when we sat down, definitely we kind of a plan to go for or apply for the Mural Cup. So then we readjusted a little bit what we want to do. But yes, we definitely trying to to adjust and to learn from what was wrong or what happened for us to be, obviously not out of the playoff. 2 years ago, like you mentioned, we're top 4 finalists, and we came close, but close is not good enough. And like I said last year, I thought it was, I'm not going to lie, I thought it was a failure, and now we try to learn from that and build for the future. I don't know.
Could I say something about winning? I think it's really important that I think the fan base understands like how hard it is to win. Brian Kilray coached 30 years
Or more.
Yeah, 30 years or more in the OHL. He's the most winningest coach in the OHL. He's coached the most games, and he won 2 Memorial Cups. It's very, very difficult to win, and sometimes you need a little bit of luck. But I think one thing that people can't forget here is that the only person that's sitting up here right now that's won a Memorial Cup is Sly Couturier. So he's done it once before in his career, and if Sly took this organization over and it was in last place in the league, and within 2 years he had the team in the semifinals, I think that the community and the fan bases and the ownership is lucky to have Sly and John here, and you can see the work and the effort and the time they've put in. And this is 1,000% the reason why I'm sitting here right now is that the guys that are in charge of hockey ops. So, I think it's, people talk about winning, and everyone has a right to ask questions, but winning is not it's the end result, but there's a lot of luck involved and a lot of hard work involved as well too in winning a Memorial Cup and winning a championship. So you take a look at Shawinigan's been in the league for I don't know how many years, and they won the Memorial Cup, but they went in the back door. They won a tournament. They didn't win the league. They didn't win the league championship until 2 years ago. The year that I was an assistant, or 3 years ago, the years that I was an assistant there. So it's I think that with the prospects that we have and the people that are in charge, I think that I'm just me as a head coach. I'm very lucky to be here and very happy to be here, and know that we're going to continue to develop the group that we have, and we're going to try and win as many games as we can. And if we continue to just work on the process, wins will come. But if you start talking about winning right away and don't understand there's a process to winning, I think as a coach and as a group and as a fan base, we have to be a little bit more conscious of being a more of a process-orientated group than just looking at the end result at the end of the year. So every team tries to win a championship, and every team tries to win a Memorial Cup, and there's only one winner every year. So it doesn't mean that teams have had a bad year. It's just there's only one team that can win. So
I'll just jump on that, Jason. St. John Sea Dogs.
Jason just has himself a raise.
That's all.
Go ahead.
St. John Sea Dogs were all in last time they hosted the Memorial Cup. They lost in the first round, and they also won a tournament to win the Memorial Cup. So it's not that easy. And something that we haven't mentioned thus far tonight, we talked about right now, the situation this team is in going forward to build for Memorial Cup. It's also done with the intent of not emptying the cupboards or the shelves so there's nothing left after that Memorial Cup in 2 years. I don't think this community can sustain a rock bottom team anymore. I really don't. So with that in mind, there's enough assets in place, there's enough of the young core in place that whatever Sly decides to do to bring people in to strengthen this team, there's still going to be a nice base left to retool, yes, but not to totally rebuild. And I think that's a big part of what we need to do and remember here in this community, especially being a small market. And we're very much aware of that, and that's also part of the plan.
And to add to Jason's point, also, let's not forget there's 18 teams with the same goal.
That's right.
Yeah, just to add to what Jason was saying, there's 18 teams in this league with the same goal. 18 teams could be sitting at that podium talking the same game, obviously different stage, but that's the goal. They all want to win, so let's not forget that.
It's a plan. Plans don't always come to fruition, right? It's a plan, it's an educated plan based on what your situation is with your community and your organization. And like we just said, every team does it. And we think we're in a real good spot right now. I've been here a long time, and the foundation right now, and the prospects and the setup, and from the business staff right down to the dressing room, has never been better, never. So I can only tell you what I know, and I've got a pretty good idea of what's been here in the past, and we've had some good things in the past, but nothing's matched this. I'll just leave it at that.
Also, one thing as well too is like I want to make sure that the fan base understands, like, you know, I love the group that we have. Like we're just been a little bit inconsistent, and that just comes due to our inexperience. You know, we lost 500 or 600 games of experience, and we're in a really good place because two guys down here likes to move and shake all the time when making trades and deals, and I know that he's going to continue to work hard and do the things that he always does in order for us to continue to win a lot of games this year. So we're going to win as many games as we can. Do I think we're competitive? I think we're more than competitive, and I think that showed. You take a look at the top teams in the league. We played right away, and we were missing Lavoie, and we were missing Murphy. You know, we take Moncton to 2 games in overtime. We lose in overtime. It's a 3-on-3 game. It's not 5-on-5. We lost the skills competition, you know. And then we play the next night. We play the top team in the queue, you know. And we win. We lose 1 in overtime to Chicoutimi, and you know, 2-0 an empty netter. We just couldn't score, you know. And then we play Rouen the next 2 games. You know, we win 1 of the 2 against Rouen, and then after that we go to Charlottetown, and we take Charlottetown to overtime. So I think this group is really close to getting over the hump, and I know the general manager is working real hard right now in order to continue to add to what we have here right now. And I really believe that this group is a really good group and is talented enough to win a lot of games and go on a good playoff run this year. You never know what can happen. You have no idea what can happen in the playoffs. Anything can happen in the playoffs, and I just really like the group that we have, and I think that we're continuing to get better and making strides. So it's just a process, and we just hope that we still have your support, whether we play a good game sometimes or play a bad game. And just know that it's going to be my mission to be able to make sure that you know, we make this community proud of what we put on the ice and how we work every night.
And you're right, both won a Memorial Cup.
That's right. I forgot about that. Sorry, John. And play for Brian Kilray.
This question is for Joey. As it relates to the fan base, and I mean, I was born and raised here. I know that the community stands behind the Eagles franchise. I have 2 little boys, and as a mom of 2 little boys who look up to these young men as local heroes, I can't say enough about being a part of this organization as a billet mom too. I love it. I wonder, as it relates to negotiations with CBRM, is there a possibility of the franchise having the capacity to hire a hospitality manager or someone to run the concourse that makes it more efficient for fans to want to come, to enjoy not just the game, but time away with their family and a night out, because we know that it's mismanaged now. But is there a possibility of the Eagles taking that over, or will it continue to lie with CBRM?
I think at this stage, it's definitely a CBRM facility, and they are set up to operate this facility, whereas we wouldn't be set up to operate the facility. So I think in the past it was on the table when Mr. Simon was looking to acquire the franchise, wondering what it would be like to have the arena as well. But all that being said, I think where we're at now is the CBRM putting some serious effort behind a plan to modernize this building, not only physically, but behind the scenes, with having the right amount of staff to support events, the right amount of staff to provide efficiency on game nights, for things like waiting in the popcorn line, or having more outlets to get your drinks and stuff like that. So it's been a big focus on the business side of the organization to work with the city to see what we can come up with to make things more enjoyable and more time efficient for our fans, our families, a couple guys out having some drinks that night, all different types of fans, different types of stories. I think, in the future, once we start to hear a little bit more on the modernization plan and what we can expect, we're definitely going to be excited to share that with you. But in a nutshell, I think it's revamping this facility to be a major event center. We just happen to be the major tenant inside this event center. So we're going to support the municipality. We're going to offer, whatever we can do to do our part. And we're going to promote the Eagles, and we're going to remain, a major tenant in this facility as long as, it has the capacity for us. So I'm looking forward to some upgrades and, some new concessions and some new lounging areas and some hospitality rooms and all the things we know we don't have right now. That would be huge for our fan experience and just for our team, our organization in general.
Thanks very much. I came to speak as a citizen, but with the question here, I might be on two hats there. My original comment, my name's Elton McDonald, I'm the councillor for the CBRM for this district. Joey, I think you guys are aware that we're working on a plan. I think you guys have seen some of that plan. I've seen some of that plan. And it's a plan in motion. And I hope and believe that it will be executed. It's going to take time. But I think it will be something that the community will be proud of when we get to the other end. But it's going to take a bit of time. So I look forward to working with you guys and us together to make sure that this building becomes a centerpiece and a showpiece for our community, and I believe we're heading in that direction. In saying that, I want to follow up the comments from the coach in regards to being a winning team. I've been in season seats for over 20 years now, and for me it's about coming to the game and seeing a good hockey game. Yes, I want to win. But if we lose, and we have a really good team that goes out there and plays hard, and loses 2-1 or 3-2 because of an empty netter, if it's a good hockey game, I'm happy with the product on the ice. Do I want to win every game? Absolutely. Do I want to have a Memorial Cup hosted here? Absolutely. Those things will take time to get to. But I think personally we've got a great team. I think our team is probably looked at by the community maybe a little underrated. If you look at where we're at in our standings right now, and you look at the overtime losses and put them into the win column, we'd be in a completely different place in the standings. And I think that bodes well for this team this year, but it makes me excited for next year. If we continue with the progress we're making now, and we build on that with some activity at Christmas, come into the second half, I think we're going to surprise a lot of teams. I think we'll surprise some people in the community. I think, Joey, in your comments earlier, first of the year is always lower in seat attendance, but I think that will pick up. But we've got a great team. We could be up in the third of the pack, which in my opinion, no disrespect. If we were there, I'm saying we shouldn't be here, but I'm glad we are. So I think we're in excellent shape. I think we've got a great group of guys. You also have to look at it, and again, anything I say is not to be disrespectful. We've got a whole new group of people in regards to management and coaching and assistant coaches. It's not easy to bring all those people in a season that they haven't worked together, and to get the results we're getting. I'm very pleased with where we are. I'm looking forward to the second half, and I thank you for the opportunity to speak. Thank you.
Do you have any pointers for our guys in the shootout?
Not really, other than put it in the net. But again, John and Al Sturgis, I'm happy with that. If we lose in the shootout, I'm okay with that. Because if you get to overtime in a shootout, that's a heck of a hockey game. And I'm coming to the rink to see a heck of a hockey game.
As Jason likes to say, we didn't lose the game, we lost the skills competition. And there's no skills competitions in the playoffs.
And from what you've seen in our shootouts, we will not be hosting a skills competition for the fans. The boys won't like that one after they're watching this, but no, we actually, it was funny, last night we were in Rimouski, and you're trying to figure out like who you're going to send out, and Felix Hamel came to me, and he's like, Clarky, he goes, you have to go with Labby. I said, okay, why? He goes, last practice, 3 slap shots, 3 goals on a shootout. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, you have to go with him. So we went with Labby. Didn't work out all that well. But I sent Labby I don't know if you guys watch Instagram, but there was a pretty neat shootout goal that was scored in Europe when the guy kind of left the puck behind him and it went in. So I sent it out to the group chat. I said, Labby, let's use this one next time. So it got a good laugh out of all the guys. So it was, hey, you're going to try anything when it comes to shootouts, and I mean, I like to lean on the goaltenders because they're the ones that are shooting against the guys are shooting against them all the time, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But it's just a part of the game, I guess. I'm not a real big fan of the shootout, but it is what it is.
All right, trying not to stutter. Hello, gentlemen. I know I've grown up with the Eagles since I was very young. We'll go there. And one thing I deeply respect is that it also used local talent. I know we're doing an awful lot of talking about bringing people in from different leagues, but you're still going to have that focus on local talent as well. I know there's 2 right now. Yes, Mother. I just want to make sure we're focusing on that local talent as well.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you're talking about local talent, am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah, no, we got, as you know, we got Rory Pilling here on our team. We drafted last year Charlie McLeod and Jack's gaining. The issue, and I'm not trying to, you know, if you look at our pool of players here, it's very limited. And you know, last year, you know, we did try to select the best players available, obviously, and the best players from here. As equal talent, we're always gonna go with the local one. You know, and like I said, it's hard. Obviously, it's hard to you know, we love and would like to have more local talent, but you know, we're an original team, and we're trying to compete against the best. So yeah.
I just know for watching my brother grow up, he watched Colleen, he watched Joey as well, and we had my nephew who was growing up in Glace Bay, he used to live down, but I had told him that Pilling was from Glace Bay. You just want to see the 6-year-old's eyes just grow. He's like, what? So just seeing, especially the younger fans, knowing that they can aspire to that as well.
We would love to have lots of local players in the lineup for sure. And it's just, some years are better than others, and when you sit down with the scouting staff, you know, we're looking at players from here to Quebec, right through to the States now, the New England States. So we're not always fortunate enough to have Joey Haddad and Chris Culligan and Ryan Sparling and all these guys coming through at the same time. Stephen Horrell from New Waterford, you know, I could go on and on. There's a lot of good players. And there's other teams drafting as well, right? And that's the other part of it. But we would love to have local players, and we're going to try and find the best fit for our organization. And you know, hey, if all things being equal, you know, we'd love to have them for sure.
Joey still looks like he's 20. Maybe we can sign him. And get him to score some. He can score some goals for us.
Poor Joey.
He's good in the shootout too.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep these guys all. I don't know if we might have time for one more. Or we might be all tapped out.
I just want to say with the boys, with the mistakes they make in one game, they should look at those and work on that and put it behind them and go on. You learn from your mistakes that you make. That's what that's what they should be doing. And then they can say, okay, well, we made these mistakes in this game, let's work on these for the next game and get them through it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's why we have do a lot of video. So how our week is set up, just so I can answer that question a little bit more in depth. We do line videos every week. So we'll have like our forward coach Josh Jabinski will meet with one specific line. Then we'll have our D meetings. So our defense coach Adam Pilot meets with the D corps together once a week. And then we have our power play meetings and penalty kill meetings. So there's lots of video through that. And then there's also something that we've added as well too, is we call them we call them touches, but it's just every player on our team gets one-on-one video at least once a week. Some just depending on if we're on the road or not much time, but once every 2 weeks. So there's lots of individual meetings and lots of video in order to make sure that we stay on top of not only just it's not about mistakes, it's just about some showing them the things that they do really well, that they need to continue to do well. I think more of our coaching philosophy is you need to be able to accelerate your strengths and manage your weaknesses. So if you're a really good penalty killer, then let's make sure you're the best penalty killer. If you're a really good checker, let's make sure you're the best checker, right? So every specific player on the team does something that's real good. And if we have all 20 guys being the best versions of themselves every day and playing to their strengths, then we should win more games than we lose. That's for sure. So it's just about making sure the guys are being given the opportunity and the environment in order for them to succeed every day, so they can accelerate their strengths. And I think that the way we've changed our daily schedule and how we've focused on a lot of individual one-on-one meetings, how we work out, and how we just do our daily schedule, I think has been a little bit different than years prior. And I think that over time, I think we're reaping the benefits of it right now. But I think over the time you'll see us even reap more benefits. So it's really important that every player is getting one-on-one attention and video in order for them to continue to develop as a player.
Well, I want to thank everybody for coming. I think we have a really good fan base, a lot of smart, educated questions, good variety as well. So thanks to everybody for coming out. Just a reminder, I know we talked about the schedule. There's only 2 home games in the month of November, so Friday and Saturday this week. Come out and see Sherbrooke. I know it's going to be a big night for Louis Gendron's final chance to play against his old team. Thomas Rousseau and Florian Huel and their team are ranked for the NHL draft, so you want to come out and see that Friday, Saturday. No, just great to see everybody out, and thanks to all the gentlemen here. We look forward to seeing you all at the rink this weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.